Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time once again where I get to tell you a story about stuff I like. Now, you look around me in this backdrop, you see a bunch of comic book stuff, action figure stuff, and something you may not know is that I am a huge fan of old school cartoons. I love them, I adore them, I cherish them. One of the things in particular I like is that certain era of Hanna Barbera stuff. I love the Flintstones. I love the Jetsons. I love Scooby-Doo. But almost equally or more so than those properties, well, maybe not the Flintstones, because that's something different altogether. I love the entire array of characters that are just there existing. Yogi Bear, Augie Doggy, Snagglepuss, Wally Gator, Captain Caveman, all of it. I love all of them. They're amazing. So when Jellystone was announced, my anticipation was like, finally, this is your Looney Tunes adjacent thing that you can really make special. Because Looney Tunes is amazing for Warner Brothers, and Jellystone could be something similar to that, but for a different audience. And I saw the first trailer for this show, and I was like, oh man, this doesn't feel like it's getting it. I was hesitant going in, but then we got the first season dropped. I think it was 10 episodes, 20 mini episodes because they were 11 minutes and split that way. This show was one of the funniest, most engaging, perfectly animated series I've seen in recent years. My expectations went and dwindled because I'm like, I don't know if I like this trailer. The jokes didn't land. The animation was interesting. It was a choice. But as soon as I saw that first episode, I knew exactly what this show was going to be. And it really struck the landing. I would say the most recent cartoon I could compare Jellystone to is the reboot of DuckTales. Now, I'm not saying it's that lore heavy or anything, but just in terms of we are readapting these characters that a certain audience knows, but the younger generation doesn't really understand. And we're giving them new perspectives, new ways to think, with really good humor. I think it works so perfectly. Jellystone was hilarious through and through. Every storyline, every episode had a joke that made me laugh. Everything landed. Every new introduction of the characters, I think, worked really well. There wasn't a single miscast character where I'm like, oh, I don't like this interpretation. Some of them are a little more silly than others. I think in particular one I was kind of hesitant on was Jabberjaw, just because it's oh, she's boy crazy. It worked for what the show needed her to. It was probably my character that I'm like, I don't know, but I could literally sit here and list off every character in Jellystone and just be like, that was great, that was great, that was great. I don't want to do that just because I think it'd just be boring to just say, oh man, that was a great interpretation, but nothing felt out of place. I think everything worked. In particular, there's some that stood out to me as a perfect way to introduce these characters. Making Huckleberry Hound the mayor, absolutely hilarious. Making Captain Caveman just random character that just screams all the time, absolutely hilarious. Boo Boo was so good. Boo Boo was so funny with the sad, quiet one-liners. Some of the best lines for him was everyone ignores him and he's like, oh, I think I'm depressed. or Yogi's just this is the best thing anybody's ever done for me. And Boo Boo just quietly goes, I gave you a kidney. That is funny. That is classic cartoon stuff. And I think it works really well. The episodes are enjoyably fun. They are very briskful. They're very short. They feel classic while still maintaining some that modern aesthetic. There's things like virtual reality and, just this destruction of stuff. It surprisingly is modern, but maintains this level of classic nature to it, which is so rare to see in a show like this, where it just perfectly captures the balance of both. That's why I think it's like DuckTales, where it just works so perfectly. It's amazing. The animation itself, too, unbelievably well done. It's very simplistic stylings. It's not over the top in any way. It doesn't look as detailed as some of those more classic cartoons. You could go the route oh, they're doing the Teen Titans Go thing. Yeah, because it's easier to use your budget perfectly when you have more simplistic styles. And this show knows exactly what to do with its styles. Holy cow. The art direction in this show is amazing. It looks beautiful and prestigious in every single episode. The characters are very dynamic for having such a simple design. Like every time they have like a certain part of them that has to move or be more over dramatized, it looks really good. It feels really good. Everything about this show just worked on a way I wasn't expecting it to. I laughed a lot. I smiled a lot. I loved the references to the characters we couldn't use. I love the direction we took for a lot of stuff here. I love that this could probably show the world more of these classic characters, because I've always liked these characters. I liked a lot of the stuff they do. I like the old cartoons. I like when we reintroduce them with things like Harvey Birdman and Space Ghost. But let's have fun. Let's do some silly stuff with them. Let's make the Funky Phantom an old school wrestler who's kind of a terrible person. Let's make Peter Potamus this weeb who collects action figures, who is a dork. It works so well. Let's just make Snagglepuss like that sassy gay guy who just doesn't get involved in any of the shenanigans and just shows up randomly. It all works so well and gives Jellystone this incredibly fun feeling. It doesn't focus on one particular character, it focuses on the array of characters we have here. An episode could be dedicated to Yogi, and then an episode could be dedicated to Captain Caveman, then an episode could be dedicated to Magilla Gorilla. It's really fun. It's so cool, and I just wanted more of it. I'm like, these 20 episodes, they were nice and quiet and fun, but I wanted more. I needed more. We deserve more. I hope we get more of these, because they are incredibly well done, incredibly engaging, and it just makes me enjoy these characters on a level that I've been missing for a long time. These characters are fun. This world is fun. I encourage all of you to check out Jellystone. It's not specifically aimed for kids. It's aimed for people that are young, but also for those of you who know, hey, I know who Wally Gator is. I'm familiar with that character. I like Jellystone. It's got all that classic stuff, and it works perfectly. It's such a good program with great animation, great characteristics. It's really fun. Jellystone surprised me in how good it did portray itself, and I think that's one of the best things a show can do, is just exceed your expectations and do something completely original. So I commend this show for taking the chances to make the Hanna Barbera classic animal-based cartoon characters into something special, and it did that in an incredibly fun way. There was no character that felt off. There is no part of this that just felt like it was dragging. Jellystone is great. It's one of the best animated shows to come out this year, and in a long time. It's really good. So, Jellystone, season number 1, I am going to give a 9 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and I will catch you in the next one. Have fun, stay safe, good luck.